And welcome back, folks. The Ray program, Ray Lucia here, tackling your money questions, giving you the best in information about everything from your portfolio to Alzheimer's. Got some interesting Alzheimer's statistics. I've taken a keen interest in this disease, as I said earlier. You know, as my father continues to age, I continue also to see signs of short-term memory loss. And so I've done some research, and we're going to check in with Bryant Greene here from Always Best Care in the Philadelphia area momentarily. But the cost for caring for Alzheimer's patients in the United States is estimated to be $226 billion in 2015. And approximately 1 in 9 Americans over the age of 65 actually have Alzheimer's. Now, what's even more interesting to me is this statistic. In 2014, Alzheimer's and dementia caregivers, these are the caregivers, these aren't the patients. In 2014, Alzheimer's and dementia caregivers had $9.7 billion in additional health care costs of their own. This is what impact it has on caregivers. So I wanted to make sure that we could talk about this with a true expert. So joining me on the program today, we do have the Italian Stallion, the new one, Bryant Greene, Always Best Care franchise owner in Philadelphia, PA. Bryant, thank you so much for joining us on the program. You didn't tell me you were going to bring the Rocky theme with you. How you doing there, buddy?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. You know, it's my hometown, Philly, and I can't tell you how many pounds I gained knocking down some cheesesteaks, water ice, and all the good stuff, scrapple, and all that from my roots in Philadelphia. But I'm reading your bio here, and this is quite impressive. Bryant's team has more than 1,000 caregivers in the Philadelphia area with over 900 clients, providing more than 1 million hours of in-home care to Philadelphia area residents. That's quite a resume and quite a challenge, I'm sure. So thank you for joining us. This brought to you by Answers for Elders today, folks. And we have, of course, the Always Best Care people, always around and always best, 855-470-CARE. If you happen to be in any state, in most any city around the country, you want to write that number down because you never know when you might have a need for in-home care. 855-470-2273. Okay, so Bryant, tell us about what you do and the impact that you've had on your particular city, the city of brotherly love.
Okay, Always Best Care Senior Services, as you know, provides care primarily for seniors, but, you know, we also support people that have had a hip or knee replacement, a back injury, people that have an amputee situation below the knee or elbow, people that are legally blind or mentally challenged. And it's interesting, our growing population in Philadelphia sometimes has all of the above. And so, you know, we provide non-medical in-home care primarily and free assisted living placement. But more than anything else, our goal, our common denominator is to help people age in place with dignity and respect. A lot of people, you know, I don't know if you know the statistics of the baby boomers, but, you know, the one statistic says that 10,000 Americans turn 65 every day for the next, you know, at least decade and a half. And so the growing senior population, you have people living longer, you know, their minds are sharp in a lot of instances, but then their bodies are not. So they need help with companion care, like meal preparation, like housekeeping, personal care in terms of bathing, grooming, dressing assistance. If they're having incontinence issues, we provide care for that. But more than anything else, we like to think of ourselves as the senior advocate. We work oftentimes very closely with social workers and, you know, coordinating supports of services. You know, of course, we do, you know, things with the activities of daily living, but oftentimes, you know, we get involved when there's a situation where a senior wants to move. If a senior wants to downsize or right size into a situation of independent living, living or assisted living or nursing care or memory care, you know, if that's the issue. I heard you talk about Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is a very, very big issue. It's a big issue, I think, not so much because it's not federally or state funded in a lot of ways, but the lack of knowledge and the lack of people acknowledging the issue, acknowledging it as a sense that the person that you once was is not there. It's an illness. And, you know, as a caregiver, recognizing your role as a caregiver, that sometimes people are very guilty and very shy about, one, talking about the problem or even looking out for resources to kind of, you know, deal with the issue.
Well, let me ask you a question.
The population is something that we throw ourselves into in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, let me ask you a question here, Bryant, because, you know, a lot of seniors fall prey to the fraudsters out there, many of whom under the guise of providing care or whatever. So how do you ensure that an individual that needs care is getting the right care from the right person at the right time at the right price?
So this is the deal. You know, unfortunately, many scammers prey upon the elderly. They know that these people are often home during the day and may be lonely and looking for someone to talk with. As a result, it gets easier for them to listen to and act on various scams. To protect your elderly loved one from various forms of financial fraud, keep these tips in mind. You know, first of all, humanize the senior in your life. You know, offer them explanations, not just rules. You know, it's kind of a role reversal in the sense that, you know, you don't just want to, you know, tell them what to do. You know, you should, you know, why your parents should know that they shouldn't give out their personal information over the phone or respond to letters from unknown people. They should also need to understand why. So instead of just saying, hang up the phone or throw that out, offer insight about what they must do. Explain that the government wouldn't call them at home and ask for their Social Security number, as they would already have that number on file already. You know, remember that. Tell your senior and your loved one that they can't claim a winning on a contest that they never entered. You know, another thing is monitor who your people are talking to. If your elderly family member lives nearby, keep a close eye on their mail and their phone correspondence. You know, scammers are relentless and may even, you know, add your senior into their vulnerable targets.
My special guest, my special guest today, folks, Bryant Greene. As you can tell, he's quite passionate about elder care and making sure that individuals that have reached the older ages that need care get care. He's in the Philadelphia area. You can contact Always Best Care and get to Brent, 855-470-CARE. You may have a family member that needs care, 855-470-2273, alwaysbestcare.com. Bryant, I think that you have articulated very, very clearly how you might be able to help individuals and how you might be able to protect them from fraudsters. Let's talk about costs if we can, because so many people are afraid. They think it's going to cost them tens of thousands of dollars per year for care because they hear the stats about nursing home care being so expensive, but in-home care is significantly less expensive. Can you talk about that?
Certainly. So, you know, some statistics would say that staying, you know, home and community-based resources are probably 40% cheaper than sending somebody into a nursing home situation or assisted living situation. And so the average cost in most places is probably anywhere between $19 to $21 an hour for home care or personal care. And the nice thing about it is, you know, you don't have to, you know, have care a lot of people don't need care for 24/7. A lot of people just need help here and there. And the different things about the providers like Always Best Care is we tailor our approach in the care plan specific to the needs of the individual. So it's a cookie-cutter situation. Some people need 2 hours. Some people need 4 hours. Some people need, you know, more hours, obviously, but it's tailored to you. You might need, and a lot of people are looking into, you know, community resources in terms of Medicaid waivers. You know, a lot of the states have what is known as Medicaid waivers because they're waiving the right of traditional Medicaid to put put them in a nursing home situation, so they're providing home care in the home. So if you go through your Department of Aging, whatever your state is, you can look into it, and what they do is a financial assessment as well as a physical need. And what I like to tell seniors oftentimes, too, particularly because I take care of my grandparents and responsible for them, is you want to make sure that you're there for that physical assessment. Because sometimes, our loved ones have a tendency to embellish on what they can do as opposed to what they really can't do. But in terms, back to your question, in terms of cost, again, the average cost for, home care agencies, at least in the Pennsylvania area is, and pretty much around the country, an average cost nationally is around anywhere from $18 to $21 an hour.
All right.
And a lot of people get care for just a couple hours a day, and a lot of just the support that they need.
Bryant Greene, thank you so much. AlwaysBestCare.com. Check it out. You may have a loved one that needs care, or in the future may need care, and you want to have access to an awesome company. I've checked these folks out. They are fantastic. Always Best Care, 855-470-CARE. Bryant Greene, thank you so much, buddy. There is one passionate dude about what he does.